Hi guys, Adam Richmond here at Lacemark Clinic in Nottingham. Received an email last night from a friend of mine, sent it from a beach in Thailand, asking me for business advice. To be honest, I'm not sure who needs advice from who, but James, here's the answers to your questions. So he's coming back to the UK and looking at setting up a business, doing some sort of hands-on therapy, possibly osteopathy, which he's possibly going to train for in the long term. Business names. Now, I'm sure this advice would apply to pretty much any small business startup. The most important thing with a business name these days is that it's Google friendly. It's got to be succinct and it's got to tell people what you do and where you do it. Who you are is less important. So the best business name for me, for example, would be Osteopathy Nottingham or Nottingham Osteopaths or something like that. It just tells people where I am and what I do. So the names you've mentioned, I like the fourth one best of all because it's got Nottingham in the title. The third one sounds a bit like somewhere you take your car to get repaired. There's a bit too much ambiguity in there. One of the things that we spoke about in the past is benefits of being a sole trader. One of the benefits of being a sole trader is that you don't need to register a business name. You can change your names as and when you want, and indeed when I first started I was Richmond Health. It was only when I moved to the Lace Market that I became Lace Market Clinic. There's absolutely no trouble changing it. I had to change the name with the bank. That took me a year or so to do. There's no problem with that because it's just a trading as name, so there's no sort of legal repercussion. As a sole trader you are flexible in what you do, what you call yourself and all that sort of stuff. So keep it succinct, keep it to where you are, what you do. Who you are is less important. That might change later on, where nowadays a lot of people come to me on word of mouth, so a lot of people look for me by name on the internet, so Adam Richmond Osteopathy might be a useful name for me, but that's definitely going to be less important earlier on. And you can have multiple websites anyway, so it's, that's something you can build later. Okay, second question, where to start the business. And again, I think this would apply to a lot of sort of small business startups. You've got to keep your overheads down. Most important thing, keep your overheads down. Especially in an industry like this where it's so much about building that, what I call the reputation snowball. As you build up, what you need first of all is you need bums on seats. You need people to know you, to be able to talk about you. So being somewhere where there is throughput of people is important. Yeah, you get less control, but you're building reputation, and importantly you're also building experience, because part of the reason that reputation is important is because you are experienced. So getting hands on people is much more important up front than anything else. At the same time, you've got to keep the overheads down. Later on, if you've not committed to having your own clinic somewhere, there's a lot less stress. I've got friends who've got their own clinics, who got their own sort of mortgage costs and stuff like that. It's a big worry. Whereas, in my situation, I just rent a space. It's mine permanently, but it's rented. At the end of the day, there's very little stress associated with that, and the overheads are low. And I think that's a good business model, because the most valuable thing is your reputation. If you've got that, people will come to you. I'm constantly amazed by how many people pay to park their cars in Nottingham to come and see me. It's something that takes time to build up, and it's a good thing to have. Okay, I definitely wouldn't mix locations, by the way. The other benefit about being in somebody else's location is they're going to say to you, James, you can only be in from 9 till 4 on a Monday, or they're going to give you a specific slot. When you start doing this game, it's people will say to you, I can't come in until Saturday afternoon, or I'm at work today, I can get there after work, and it's very tempting to bend over backwards to try and sort of try and fit people in, and to some extent you do need to do that, but at the same time, if you've got a structured place where you are only able to be in certain hours, then that can help you be a bit more sort of structured and focused, and means that you get less likely to be constantly bending over backwards and help with that pressure. So there are other benefits to being in somebody else's space. Plus you get to talk to people. It's a very lonely world when you start out. and having other practitioners around that you can share stories with and cup of tea with is a useful thing as well. Okay, well I hope this video has been useful to you, James, and to anybody else who's watching this with similar ideas about starting their own business, particularly in the hands-on health type market. I see my role as an osteopath as, part of my role is helping people to engage in their lives and to take control of their lives. I think that's such an important part of health. So if there's anybody else out there that wants to pick my brains, I can be contacted through the website. It's lacemarketclinic.co.uk. So my name's Adam Richmond. I'm an osteopath in Nottingham, helping people engage and take control of their lives. Thank you.